Hi, welcome to the first episode of Ask the Topper. Ask the Topper is a series of videos in which we will be interacting with the former students of THiNC Institute of Design, where they will be sharing their piece of advices, experiences, and the methodologies they follow to crack the exam, which will be an inspiration to the upcoming aspirants. So, today, I, Aditya Sunil from THiNC Institute of Design, is here with you. And with me, I have Adarsh Remesh, who is a former student of THiNC Institute of Design. And he got a percentile of 99.9 in JEE Paper 2. And he is a resident from Calicut. Now he is a student in SPA Delhi. So over to you, Adarsh. Hi.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meeting you, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, and pleasure to meet you too. So how are you?
Well, I'm fine. Class are going on, so it just start hectic. Sorry, because we are a COVID batch, so
It's
we
okay.
we had like skipped some months at the beginning of our academic year. So we are like trying to combine back everything together, so to finish academics in the proper time. So that's the problem we are facing right now.
Okay, so now you got Hindi in between.
That's like a, what can I say, a daily routine right now. When a faculty talks to you back, you will somehow gets up what he's saying and starts to add Hindis in between.
Okay, so you are learning Hindi more than now.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, Adarsh. So are we ready? So shall we begin?
Yeah.
So, okay. So Adarsh, I was very curious to know that how did you know that you want to be an architect? Okay, what was the first thing that came into your mind? That when did you realize? Okay.
Well, to be frank, the word architecture, I chose the architecture very young. To be said, I just shouted the words when my teacher asked us what is my ambition. Every student in the class had a go. Usually, a general Kerala class, you can guess it would be engineering, doctors, teachers. The loops goes on. There will be a half engineers in boys, sorry, 3/4 of the engineers in the boys section, many doctors and girls, and teachers in between, some boys and some girls. And there will be very rare people who say something else. So one was artist, and I thought I could be something different. And the only word I knew was architecture. So I just said architecture, and the teacher starts to say, that's a very good option. So I thought, fine, it is a very good option. Someone else is saying it is a very good option. So later on my time, I realized that architecture is a good choice. It's entirely different from what we are having. I can actually say by just going one semester, it's very different. So I just stick to it, like till the time to three, till any teacher comes and asks what is ambition, it will be architecture, architecture, architecture.
Okay. So you were already ambitious about it.
Yeah.
So it didn't just pop up one day. So you were already planning for it.
Of a sort. Key. The first moment it was just a word for me. I didn't even know how to spell the word properly. But later on, when the time goes on, I get my own reasons. And it gets actually like it's locking when you have an decision to make. Because everyone will start to ask you question. You said you want to become an architect. Where are you right now? So you'll have something to say back.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Anish. So, when you came to know that you got a high score, or what was your reaction when you came to know that about your JEE score?
The first JEE, when the first JEE score came out, I wasn't actually sure, but the faculty at Think Institute, Maths sir, Vishnu sir, was actually sure because he just checked my results. I never goes and check the answer key. He said I would get some score, but I was like, he's joking with me. So when I got, I was very happy. I was just jumping around the home. I just said the results to my mom, every family member, called every teacher in Think Institute who have took classes, and just said my thank yous. But after the COVID lockdown, because everyone can think when at the first JEE I got 99.5 percentile. Then after that I had any reason for studying. I started to skip everything. But at the last time, when after the lockdown happened and the second JEE was coming in, fair bit of gap was there, like 2 months of gap we got after Thing Institute. I studied just very little, but since the institute, I had like really good guidance from the institute for studying in the first one. I had like the memories of the entire subject. The second one was much better. When the results came out, I was extremely happy. I didn't have to call anyone. The call just came to me, and I was like so happy and proud to be saying that I have such a score.
Oh, okay. So, did your parents throw you a party or something? Or were they shocked?
They were very shocked indeed. So they just said like today's food is from outside. Let's go out. There's nothing to worry about. I was like fairly happy because like I dropped 1 year. You can actually guess what will happen to a student who
Yeah.
drops 1 year. Uh, so they were
So
like
you were a repeater.
exactly. I was a repeater.
Okay.
I got a chance to go to a college, but since I wanted to get to SPA Delhi, that was like the primary dream. Because whenever you typed in architecture in India, you'll only get like three sets of colleges name. One would be SPA Delhi at the top. So every student who want to become an architect would be heard that name. So I also wanted to study from there. This was so fairly good.
Okay. So you wrote both the JEE papers, JEE the January session and the May session.
Yep.
Okay. So my next question would be like, how did your parents or your teachers had a contribution in your journey?
To be frank, I don't think I have worked that hard. It would be their contribution. Because like you will have this urge to skip every day's class because whenever you go out and someone asks you what you are doing, you won't be saying I'm in plus two. I'm doing any college work. I'm saying I'm repeating. So the next question would be no one knows what the repeating is right now. They'll ask, are you repeating for plus two?
Okay.
So you will be like, no, I'm not. I'm like studying for my entrance. So they will be, are you engineer? No, I'm an architect. So they won't get the difference. But so it goes on.
Okay.
But when you get to think, my institute, it's like entirely different. Everyone knows what they are doing. Everyone will be having their sets of passion, and everyone would be working. My friends would be extremely motivational because they will be like playing very hard, but they will be studying very hard. And faculty will be extremely supportive. Like you want to have some time off, you can have some time off, but always think your end goal is to get your college. So they'll like teach you properly. And parents were supportive every time. They didn't even ask me like, "Are you skipping class? Just study at your pace. Do what you want. Get the score. Say to the people that you are a student of architect, not a repeater for architect." So
Okay. So how did you manage your? So you didn't have school, right? So how did you? How much time did you spend on studying?
um, so since a repeater, every Monday to Friday you will be having classes in Thing Institute. So I will be leaving my home at around 8 to get to the class at 9, and I'll be back around 7 o'clock, and I'll sit for 2 hours for just revising what the class happened. I won't be like studying that much because every faculty who have taken classes, if it is drawing, Akil sir or Thomas sir, maths, Vishnu sir, aptitude, Anand sir, like whomever taking, they will be having their sets of notes. If it is Vishnu sir, he would have given like point notes for taking questions, different types of questions on the subject he is taking. Drawing, there will be assignments. I'll be putting my time on doing that. However, they wish to do that.
Okay, Adesh. So it is often heard that previous year question papers are very helpful for students. Have you ever gone through the previous year questions or did it help you in any way?
Yes, I have been through previous year questions. Like past 5 years, max minimum. I have also tried engineering maths. It's just because that JEE is an entrance exam. They have a pattern they follow, and they stick to it. You can actually see it if you go through the question papers. So after going through that, you'll get a very good amount of practice, and like you can finish your exam much faster, and you'll be a bit more confident to write your exam because you'll be having like knowing how the pattern works, how many questions you can expect, is maths possible to do, etc. etc.
Okay, so it was helpful for you.
Yeah, it was helpful.
Oh, okay. As you know that JEE has three sessions, mainly drawing, aptitude, and maths. So which was tougher for you in
Drawing, of
main three?
course.
Drawing.
It was drawing. I was not that good at drawing, especially human figures. And J is more concentrated in that area. If you can draw a good human, you will get a much more mark because it will be a person marking you. So it's based on the examiner. But every other subject is computer oriented. So you'll get what you work for. Drawing is much more like if you are like very talented, you'll get a very good score, or else it will be a bit low.
So how did you overcome this? Like, how did you manage to draw? Did you spend more time in drawing?
Yeah, spend some more time in the exercises that the teachers provide. So they like look for what's very wrong in my drawings. It usually was humans. So I had like an at the end after first January JE, my drawing was more based on human figures. So just it helped. You can actually say that the first it was 99.5 the total. In the end, it became 99.9. So that helped when I just concentrated on what was my weakness.
Okay. So it's often heard that maths is the toughest subject because for many of even for me it was a horror for me. So how do you say that? How did you manage to study maths? And what was the strategy to practice maths, or did you finish the maths questions first, or did you leave it for the last? How did you match
Well,
it?
the reality is like I'm a repeater, so I've written JEE exam for 4 times. The
Okay.
first time I have written my JEE exam, I got 52 percentile. You can guess, very low. Second time it was 97.5. The third time it just started to get up. The reason is like I understood that the maths is not that hard because you don't have to attend every question. If it is 6 questions you can attend, that's more than enough. And like the faculty who had teach the maths and made sure to us that we would never guess a question. Like you can guess a question, it's up to you. But if you guess a question, your score will be reduced. So in maths, it's generally which all parts you can study well. You may be not good at calculus. I was not good at integration. So the faculty had shown me a trick to not learn integration, but to learn differentiation and do the integration. So like that, there's like many shortcuts for finishing maths. And some topics I just excluded entirely. I didn't even wanted to learn. Uh, and yes, I attempt maths first because if you put maths at the last due to the time stress, you can know that the JEE exam I think they want the students to be stressful because they just put the countdown at the top left at the big digit, starting from the top to bottom, like a lift off. So at the end, when it's just started from a 3 digit at the top, it gets to 1 digit or something. You starts to get the panic in. So you don't want to do maths at that stage because you will for sure try to
Oh,
guess some question.
yeah, panic. Yeah, yeah.
So it's
You
better to do drawing at the end because aptitude will be coming at the middle. 50, I believe it was 50 question in 1 hour. That was like the standard. Even in NATA, if NATA it was like 60 question in one hour. It would be like spending 1 hour on aptitude, 1 hour on mathematics, 1 hour on drawing. And the maths was given more priority because every question you can score, not guess. Every question you can score will give you much more score than any other subjects.
okay? So could you add on more points regarding how do you manage aptitude, or there are different areas in different equations and a lot of things. So how did aptitude help?
Well, aptitude is like an how much experience you have writing the aptitude questions, your time will be reduced that much. But there is like an part in aptitude that would be general knowledge. Usually, no students, very few students attempt that. I don't even know. I don't even read that as general knowledge questions because it would be that based on how your knowledge would be on India. It will be basic, but you won't get the answer at that time because you will be like disturbed by every other thing, distracted. So I practiced more general aptitude questions. That will be counting surfaces, anything of that sort. And if I think you will be having you at the towards the end you'll be having one exam per day, and half of them would be aptitude. So you'll be like very fast in doing aptitude normally.
So, was there some sort of a time management you made for doing solving these questions? Was it
Yeah.
set?
So at the beginning of the exam, when the exam begins, you'll be like taken to the exam hall 30 minutes before.
Mm.
At the moment you will starts to get the fear will be kick in. At the moment you start to sit in the computer. So I tried to be calm as possible. Like one of my cousin had told me a trick to count from 100 to 0. That actually helped when you like stop thinking about how the students to the right is going to do or to the left is going to do, whether the computer will stay up, or think about how I get to get to this point. It's fairly better to distract yourself by counting 100 to 0. So after doing that, like when the exam begins, I just straightly go to the maths. I just quickly reads every question I can and just think that how much I can attempt. So I will like sit on every question like maybe 1 minute. And if I couldn't find how to approach this question in 1 minute, I will skip the question, go to the next. So as the maths finishes, I go to the aptitude. Aptitude usually takes 1 hour. That's like standard. However, I tried, I couldn't like reduce the time in aptitude. Then how much time I have left, I'll be like investing it on drawing, like as much as I can. But at that point, you'll also stop drawing since like since you get much experience, the end result would be like you'll be having like 5 or 10 minutes left on your JEE exam. You'll be sitting in a hard still. So you don't want to waste the drawing you have made till now because you don't know what will happen after the 10 minutes. So you'll just go back to the maths. That's what I do. Like go back to the maths and think about the questions I could have attempted and maybe like write one more question like and finish the exam.
Okay. So, you guys were the victims of COVID-19. Your whole schooling, your whole, and the studies were affected. So, how did you cope with the situation? Was it stressful? To be, it was something new for you guys because you were supposed to lock in a room and you were completely zoned out from everything. So, how was it for you?
Well, everyone is affected by the COVID-19. Same goes for me. I got out of thing at the time when the Kerala government has introduced the COVID-19 necessary quarantine. So after that, like 2 months straight, as everyone, I was in a home. Like couldn't do much. I was supposed to be finished my JEE at the time and like joining to the new college, but COVID didn't let us. So after that, the JEE came after 2 months. Uh, Again, since there was a huge time gap, you can think that a student's moral will be less. But somehow, uh, I got a bit more mark, and like the admission procedure also got extended. Like we skipped like 3 months of academic calendar. After that, when I got admission in SPA Delhi, I later realized that for the next I don't know how much long, I would be in my room only, studying from my laptop. Uh, the college I want to go would be at Delhi itself, but I have never been to Delhi. So that was actually disturbing thinking that. And the last classroom experience I had was on ThiNC. And right now, COVID get again increased. COVID cases are getting increased. We are supposed to be like we had a rumor that will be called back at second semester, which started 1 month ago. So right now they are saying like it will be 2022. Maybe there's like a close also right now. Maybe. So at this stage, like one of my family member got COVID and like we all went back to quarantine. So like it was generally quarantine only, but we could have gone out like when the time COVID case was very less at the middle. We had our sem vacation for like 23, 20 days or so. So we just spent our time with the friends at SPA Delhi, and we had many things students in that. Almost there's like 33 student Keralites in Delhi right now, first year. That's like the top number. and like 50 about 6-7 students are like thing based.
Okay.
There's like no other institute in SPA Delhi right now saying that. Like 33 of the entire state, 6-7 is based on thing itself.
Think it's
So like we all get to Kochi. We just spend our time there because it was really bad. You can actually think like going from a book-oriented education system to a design-oriented education system without even getting a chance to see what a studio feels like, how the materials works, how the instruments are. So there's like screen became very bad looking at that time. You will never guess like you would have used your laptop for watching like endless times of streams or like played games too many times. But at the time when you start the classes, the laptop screen gets the most boring day of your life. That's like bad at a point, but when I understood that even though it's Corona and everything going on, the classes were entirely different. Thanks for that. Like we had like a very good friendship in SPLA right now. So we will arrange meet maybe if the work is going till 4, 6 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock in the morning from that uh, yesterday itself. So there will be meets, multiple meets from multiple sets of people. You can go in, join, talk if you have any problem, play games if you want to chill out, or work in the meet itself. So it's like right now I'm like adjusting to it, but not entirely.
so you got adapted to the situation.
Had to. There was no other choice.
Okay. So I want to ask you something because how did you manage? Because half of the time now you're depending upon phone, social media, and the kids nowadays are too much using mobile applications and other social media because after the pandemic hit, the government has initiated to use it. So what would you suggest? Was it helpful? Was or is it good to use or were you completely zoned out from social media or did you use WhatsApp or Instagram? Were you active?
I was very active. At the beginning, I was very active. For the first January JEE, I was in offline mode. So we would be having our phones and like we would be using it very addictively. I can say that. I was extremely addictive, and I understood that at a point that if I spend my time more on my phone rather than on my book, I can't say that I'm a student of architect. I will say that I'm repeating for architecture itself again. So that was not a very good choice, I think so. So at the end, at the time when I take a 1 month vacation from THiNC for revising my subjects, I just didn't use my phone for 1 month, like because I didn't wanted to. I watched many series at that time, but I never used my phone because one thing at the series is it will end at a certain point of time. Maybe it will go to 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe. But if you get into WhatsApp or Instagram, it never ends, and you won't even realize the fact that it is not ending. You're like going and going.
The
Like
time goes on.
time goes on. So at the end, only for 1 month, I just didn't use it. I just concentrated on my studies. But I was using internet because I used it on laptops to avoid the entry of any social media. But I still try my best to get into social media at that time because it became a part of you after some time. So I believe like usage of phone at the beginning of the repeating time or beginning of the study time, fine, no problem at all. You will be getting your classes, so you will be concentrated on it. If you want to concentrate, you will be concentrated. But at the end, when you are revising, that you will be at your zone. Never use your phone. It never works because the second you get to your zone, it will be a very bad zone because no one likes to study. And you will get a call from someone you like to talk to. You will never pick study over him or her. You like sit there. Maybe the person who's calling wanted to play games. You'll be like, fine, this can wait, that can't wait. You'll be like instantly transferring your book over phone. So it's better to avoid that.
Okay, so you are suggesting not to use social media
For
during
just
exam.
1 month because more than that time, the person get desperate and the results won't be very good.
Okay. So the next question would be like, how did you spend your leisure time? Were you into sports, or how did you spend the what I mean is like free time? What did you
And
do in your free time?
usually the free time that I had like was Saturday and Sunday.
Hmm.
So I would go to the nearest beach I have, walk till there, just spend my time at the morning and come back. That would be like my morning for like maybe 4 to 6 months of my repeating time. Then you'll be coming back, study for as much as you can, not as much as you can. Like at a point of after studying like for 2 hours, maybe one hour, for me it's 1 hour, you don't get anything inside your head after that time. So I just take the time out, maybe play some games in my phone at the beginning. Like at the end, at the December's time, I was like watching more series, whatever I can, like to take my time, head out of the studies, to get out of the zone that the exam is going to come within 25 days or 24 days. So I spend my times on that. Then if I had more time, like there's like fairly less work, I would like try to go out to anywhere, walk outside, like spend some time out. That way it's like good for me.
Okay, so did you have some sort of calendar or somewhere you noted down that the countdown for your exams?
I was very bad at it. I didn't even look at it. I was very bad at planning something in like for a long term. If you say that I'm going to study, there's like 30 days left. I'm going to study for the 30 days this subject that day. I'm sure to skip that thing. I won't even go to that far. So I just avoided planning the thing out. So I just study what I think would be appropriate for study. I would be having a general idea because I know that I am weak in some subjects and I'm good at something. So I hired a general idea and I stick to it. Like I had
So,
30 days. So I think
okay, so how often do you revise the things which are taught in?
revision in the sense it happens at the time the class ends. As I said, I will spend 2 hours for revising what the class thing happened. Then when the time there's like exams and thing, you are asked to look up the book, so you would be revising one more time. But the main revision for me, like main study time, main revision was like after getting all the classes and the information of what to do. I spent that 1 month. That was like the most studied time. I don't think I have studied that much time till now any other way.
Okay. So, what role did think play in your life, in your journey?
Well, actually, it is a confidence. I can tell you something. I was a think student at the time of my crash course. I was a crash course student starting from. So I finished my plus one, plus two, spent my crash course, I think, for 17 days. The first exam was 57, failed. 57% is very low. You will be getting like 1,95,000. That was my rank. Then the second JEE exam came. I got 17 days of uh, practice from thing, classes from thing, and I got 97.5. I think so. No, it's 95.7. I barely believe that. I tend to forget that things. So I got 90, maybe keeping it 95.7, and I understood that within 17 days I can get to such a score. So if I can go to the same institute for one more year, like spend 1 year in chance for getting into the college I want to, I thought it was a good bargain. My parents actually supported, not my teachers though, because like I got a chance to go to TKM, uh, the thing administration, the teachers there asked me to go for the sport allotment of Keem. Somehow my friends were there. I just wanted to put CET because I was sure that will never get into CET. But I was fairly sure I will never get into TKM. So when they just asked 3, 4 times, I just said, fine, you can fill whatever you want, but I won't go below TKM. Just put TKM. Unlucky me got into TKM. I didn't want to, but it allotted me to TKM. So that then I was like very desperate because I got called from everyone saying you are a fool not going to TKM, thinking that 1 year going to some institute going to give you more marks. But my parents and teachers were supportive till then. Teachers just called me and said, "You wasted a moment, never comes back, so you should study." That was the only thing they said. fine, can study, no problem. So it was that confident that within 1 year, I can achieve something that I couldn't achieve within 17 days. So think actually played a big role. I actually can say I would never get to SPA Delhi without thinking.
Okay. So, what's that one piece of advice that you would like to give the upcoming aspirants and think, or the students who are preparing for JEE?
Um, well, after writing the exam, as you can think, any exam you finish, you will start to feel like it is easy. It was easy, to be frank. Well, I have the same thing to say to them. Don't make a JEE a big notion that you can't pass JEE by studying just two subjects. You need all three subjects. You should be well versed in maths. That's not the truth. You should be like concentrated on how to write the exam rather than studying the entire subject. If you can't learn conic section or you can't learn in trigonometry, calculus, any subjects, you can't learn general knowledge. I would actually say to skip that subject and learn what you can learn. Because no one said in JEE that you should attempt, if there is 75 questions, you should attempt all 75 and you should have 75 out of 75 to win. You just need six questions in mathematics to get 89 percentile. For every other question, you'll be getting more percentiles. So it's like learn as much as you can, but don't just overdo it. Like if you can't learn a subject, don't spend your time, waste your energy on a topic you can't learn, and just think about it at the exam hall. Like I couldn't learn that. What am I going to do? Just be happy that you learned as much as you can and write the exam. You won't be entirely confident. I can say you that. Uh, for JEE exam and for three NATA exams, I can say that every time you get into an entrance exam, you won't be confident, but you can actually be happy. Like when you start the exam and see the question paper, some questions you know, that's like a very good sign. So just take most of the thing think positive, but never take like getting less marks or like skipping subjects, entire subject saying I can't learn this as a positive thing. Try to see everything in a new perspective because you are not writing present test two. There is no need for finding your steps. Only thing you need is the end result. How you achieve, no one is going to care. If you are going to guess, there may be people who are like very extremely brilliant at guessing. We had some. So if you can be like that, you can actually do that, no problem at all. But it's at your own risk. If you couldn't get something, you can't just go and say that I was good at guessing, but I didn't get anything. So that's it. Like see everything in a new perspective. Skip the notion of plus one, plus two. That's not what you are going to write. It's an entrance exam. No one cares how much steps you have written, how many extra paper you have gotten into. No one cares about it. They don't even care how much question you have attended. They just need to see how much you performed compared to another person. So study like that. Don't study like trying to learn every subject so that I can write at least three steps in a question you don't know. That's not how it works.
Okay. Now, share some experience about SPA Daily. I know you haven't been there yet, but still, you could share a
Well,
few of your experiences.
that's the only problem I had. Like I couldn't been to SPA Delhi. Seniors have been saying that the culture of SPA Delhi is very vast, and I've been seeing so many pictures because they will be like putting as many pictures as they can. The much better experience would be that we had a chance to design a building. Every sem and you'll be getting a chance. And I'm like in a section where we had the most work. Most work in the sense I didn't sleep for 2 days straight, 48 hours to finish my work and had to attend the class the next day. So that experience was bad at that experience. But the end, when my project was done, when I designed my building and like presented my sheets, and the faculty who had asked me to redo the stuff 1 week prior to the submission deadline posted my work on his Instagram saying 10 people's work actually saying 10 people within 3 weeks could achieve this. We are hoping for more. I was like fairly happy to know that like I did what he wanted to do. So I just got a bit more proud.
Okay. So you miss being there. You badly want to be there.
Exactly. Every first year want to be there. Like if you just am a first year like SP Delhi and you are having this, the WhatsApp group will be flooded once a day saying how much someone misses going to a classroom. You can actually say like drawing in a room closed off, watching a monitor isn't that fun. Might be if you are like that interested in staying in your home, might be, but for us it wasn't.
Yeah.
So we try our best to not be at that stage. Like we had like an we have our own email IDs from SPA, so we can join in any Google Meet that is SPA oriented. So we'll try to go into many meets. We'll be having our own group meets to avoid this loneliness, solitude we are facing there.
Okay. So it was nice talking to you and knowing you more about your life, about your experiences. Thanks for being a part of Ask the Topper. Thank you, Adarsh.
Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure. It's really I'm really happy to be back to be called from Think. It's really nice and like all the best for everyone who's going to write their exams. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching our episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And we are very much active on our community page and as well as our Telegram channel. The link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. Thank you.